Cody Collier, how are you, sir?
Leonard Duncan, great. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. I just missed you on our pre-race. I know you were feeling bad. It happens sometimes, but you're feeling better now, right?
Yeah. I had a fever of 104 Wednesday, Thursday, and halfway through the day Friday, started to break the fever. So, I just wasn't feeling 100% for the race, but we hung in there and got the third and got good points and ready to battle next weekend.
How did you come out on the first turn?
I'd say about fifth, sixth.
Really? That hold on one second for me. What the heck is this? The computer is not playing fair with me today.
Technology. Yeah. No, race was great. Got a good start and just made a couple early passes, got up to fourth. Burke Marsiglia was running third early, riding really well, and missed a G out, bottomed out, and actually ended up endoing his 4x4 into a tree. And I stopped to make sure he was okay, and it was a pretty good one. Took a good dig, and just kind of rode my race from there. Stayed in third, kind of pulled a gap early on, and just kind of ran out of energy, just running on steam. Just from being sick, didn't eat much, didn't get much to drink the days before the race, being sick. So,
did you chill in the trailer before in the morning?
What is it now?
Did you chill in the trailer the morning before the race?
Yeah. I stayed. I missed work. I called off work Thursday. Fever 104, can't go to work. So called off work Thursday, and then we traveled Friday midday because I knew I wasn't going to be able to walk the track with temperature and stuff. Now I was feeling and throwing up a little bit, not feeling well. So knew I wasn't going to walk the track, so just got there midday Friday, hung out in the RV, just relaxed and saved energy.
That's during the race, did you get a feel for anything that was going on, or were you just holding on for dear life?
No, I was all right. Like the first couple laps, I wasn't really attacking the track, just trying to save energy. So Landon and Brandon ended up running away. I got a decent third by myself. I was just focused on carrying momentum and just being smooth with it. And it was good enough for third for a long time. And Hayden Mickelson ended up catching me on the last lap. Made me fight for it the last few miles. I'd say the last 6, 7, 8 miles. He was right there. He ended up catching me in a group of lappers.
Did Landon and Brandon had quite the little battle for a while, from what I hear?
Yeah. Landon was right there for a little bit. Brandon ended up pulling a little gap, 20 or so seconds a second lap, and Landon ended up endoing it, I guess, on a downhill, and just kind of paced it in from there, back to down.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were just far enough back, you didn't catch him.
I know. I was like 2 minutes back. Yeah, it's tough when you're not on at that level. It's just tough. Nothing you can do. You can't fake that.
Right. Hayden, did he pass you, or did he just pressure you?
Just pressured me. He was just there. So just try to be strong with confidence and just.
Where did you finish overall?
Fifth. Brody second overall from the schoolboy class. Had an awesome race. I got to ride with him for a little bit. He actually ended up catching and passing me on like the third lap.
Who was that?
Brody Lee.
Really?
Yeah.
So he must have been flying.
Yeah. He was absolutely cruising on that 250.
Man, on a 250, he moved that far through the field.
Yeah. I think he passed everyone except for Landon and Brandon.
That's crazy.
I think he might have passed Landon, honestly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Jessica and Hanna had quite the battle from what I hear as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I saw Hannah's wreck on the start and seeing her picture. She's all scraped up on the side, big tire mark. She got hit pretty good. So glad she's all right. And yeah, she ended up fighting for the second place. Jessica ended up taking the win. So, right.
I think Katelyn got second and Hanna got third is what I believe.
Okay. I thought you said Jessica and Hanna
But
had
I still believe Hanna was in the fight. I could have read that wrong. I could have read the wrong thing, Sorry.
No, they couldn't have got. No, I seen that there was those three on the podium. I didn't know what their positions were.
Yeah.
I didn't check that one.
And I believe Katelyn got second. And Tracy was fourth.
Yeah.
So the top four kind of shaking down the same. They just mixed up the order a little bit. And Jessica's got the point lead.
Yeah. Riding really well, really fast, really consistent. So, giving Hanna a run for money this year.
Exactly. I mean, I saw the video of the wreck in the first turn. Did you get to analyze that at all on video and get see anything there?
It looked like the outside person had a tire on Hanna, and it looked like the inside person just got pushed wide. Hanna just got pinched off. So Hanna just had nowhere to go.
Who was the other person with her? Do you know?
I missed it. I missed who that was.
Yeah, because they got away before Hanna, I believe.
Yeah. Hanna was pretty much dead last, other than Jessica and Katelyn, I believe they got together on the start.
As well?
Yeah, on the second corner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Kay ended up rear-ended her, getting caught up in the back of her.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and
then on start, Hunter ended up getting caught up in the hay bale, got pinched off, and we got shoved into the hay bale.
Really? So it was an aggressive race.
Yeah, so Hunter was dead last off the start.
I got to do this again. I'm sorry.
Very good. Yeah, and then Steve Harrell's win streak ended. How about that?
Yeah. He didn't did he have any problems? I didn't hear anything.
I heard it wasn't his day. He just wasn't feeling it 100%, and Bones was just on rails. Right. Bones just had an awesome race. Brandon Owens, I ended up getting the win in XC2.
Yeah, he's been challenging him all but one round, or been tough all but one round, and we knew that it had to come eventually.
Yeah, Bowens should have won Georgia, but blew apart a rear wheel on the last lap. He had a good lead going into the last lap. Yeah, Harrell was that. Harrell and Lane McCormick were there early in the first two laps. They were right on with Bowens, picking through the back of the pack XC1 guys, and Bowens ended up just putting a nice little gap on them and holding it.
Wow. I read the little bit of blurb about the XC2 class, and when I seen that he got beat, I was kind of bummed and happy for Owens at the same time. But still, you have 5 race win streak, and you get second.
In a second. Yeah, no, super consistent. Look for him to keep putting together races.
And Eller put in another podium.
Lane McCormick got the third.
Was it Lane McCormick?
McCormick got third.
Eller got fourth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, McCormick got the whole shot and just stayed with the lead pack. He was right with Harrell all day. I'm not sure exactly how behind he finished, but he was right there all day.
I'm going to quit doing my homework. because I did homework all this morning to be prepared for this, and I've screwed up every class so far.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, I'm just pretty much going off memory.
Yeah, well, I freaking wanted to be prepared. I read some stuff that I normally don't read. I went and looked at all the results, and yeah, totally blew it. I don't know. I think that there's a problem with sending to Josh. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, but
Yeah,
we'll
just
have to move on.
yeah. No,
It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, Josh, brother. I'd love to have you on, but if we can't get connected, it's probably something that I'm doing wrong. But
it works for me.
so, the conditions is what I really liked. The fact that for both races, it was clear and nice weather.
Yeah. Conditions were perfect. It was 70 and sunny all day Saturday. Got rained a little bit for the bikes, but for the quads, it was great. A little dusty out in the fields, but in the woods, it was with the tree coverage, it was beautiful. Nice and tacky. Got some creek crossings, got some water holes.
Did you feel well enough to do the TV where you're a TV analyst?
Did not. Okay. I just wasn't feeling it this round and just tapped out. But I plan on being back at Penton.
Did you see Walker Fowler's post?
Where he's out of the brace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are sharing it. So it was super cool to see. So he's back on the men's, and look to have him back soon.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if he's going to be back soon, but he's at least out of the brace.
Yeah, not like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, no, yeah, should have him back by the end of the year is what it sounded like. So just gotta take his time and heal right.
Do you think he can make it back this year?
Possibly. He's out of the brace pretty quick. He's young.
Yeah, but you out of all the people that I've ever talked to, more about back injuries and things like that, and how temperamental it can be.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta let it heal right. I'm sure he's got the right people around him to make sure he's recovering right. So he's not going to mess around with it.
Yeah, and I think he's still got a long career to go, depending on what he wants to do. So Walker, get healthy, listen to the doctors and get your strength back and come back as strong as you can.
It'll be all right. But how about the Gator? Ran second early, kept pace with Brycen. He was only like 10 seconds back for the first 2 laps. Kept Brycen honest around his pace and kind of separated himself from the rest of the pack, pulled like a 30, 40-second gap on third place and just kind of held it.
You can take nothing away from a seasoned veteran. And when a guy gets in his groove, the track flows for him, the conditions are right. On any given day, anybody can win. And Adam McGill went out there and put on just a stellar old school Adam McGill ride and, kept Brycen honest and, showed the rest of the field that he still got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's whatever he's doing with his training and his dieting and for his ailments and everything. It's working.
Yeah, I was super excited. I texted him afterwards, as soon as I found out, because I get the results for the cross country stuff way faster than I do anything else. Any other series that I check on, I get the cross country stuff way faster. And I texted him as soon as I got it, congratulations, and thought, wow, that's pretty cool that the old guy comes through like that. And no, you're younger than I am. I know that, and you're still out doing it. So Adam, congratulations and great ride. You mentioned Hunter Hart got in a tussle in the first turn, and I was dinking around with my electronics. What happened? Do you know exactly?
Just got pinched off in the first corner. Got cut down on.
And dropped him to the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, dead last. He was dead last going into the woods.
Oh, that's just gotta hurt.
Yeah, he battled back through the pack, ended up getting into a podium battle with John Glauda and Wyatt Wilkin. Looked like Wilkin, he made the pass in the pits, passed Hunter Hart back for third, and pulled like a 5-10 second gap, and misjudged the route and caught a tree on an uphill, and ended up towing his quad out and blowing his front plastics off, and I guess he hit pretty hard.
Ouch. Where did he end up? I didn't see that.
One mistake away from a podium for Mr. Wilkin.
Didn't Hunter get fourth?
Yeah. Junior and Hunter got in a good battle after Wilkin made that mistake going into the last lap.
And Junior came out on top because he got the spot on the box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where was Cole?
Cole broke a spindle.
Oh.
He was third, fourth place early and looking strong, and broke a spindle. Not sure if he hit something this race or last race or what. I don't got the story on that, but.
Do you think that the course is overly demanding, or is it faster so that when you guys do hit something, it does have a problem?
What is that again? I'm sorry.
So the flow of the course, the speeds that you're traveling,
Yeah.
and, at Ironman, this was the Hoosier, but it was at the Ironman facility.
Yeah.
So are the speeds up high enough so that when you do have an impact with a tree or something, that it causes the machine to fail?
A lot of the times, on any track, speeds that they're pushing nowadays, and the 4x4 guys, definitely can rip something off in a heartbeat. 4x4s, it's a lot more so because there's so much momentum with 800-pound machine. If you catch something like they do, they can bounce off it a lot of the time. We'll rip off the front end.
Okay. This race, it seemed like we're talking about more machines having issues in the 450 classes with broken parts. Is it the speeds or just the technical terrain?
It's just the speeds. The terrain makes it tricky, but the speeds that they're running on the terrain is what makes it really tricky. They're all going so fast and really pushing the pace, and it's hard not to ever make a mistake running that pace.
Right, I believe that.
So it's an area. It's just about limiting your risks.
It was a pretty huge point swing, though.
Yeah. Him going several minutes down. He ended up finishing, I believe, after they got swapped out, but he was just so far down. Not sure we ended up in the overall, but
yeah, I looked, but then I don't remember off the top of my head. Adam McGill was second. I think Josh Merritt got sixth, if I'm not mistaken. Hunter.
Hunter fifth, Hart with fourth, Wilkin was seventh, and Bowen's got ninth overall, Harrell 10th, and then Lane McCormick 11th.
Where did Abney finish?
I believe he got 8th.
Okay. And somebody that wasn't supposed to be back down there and at the bottom was at the bottom. I don't remember who that was. Might have been Cole. I don't know.
Yeah.
It shakes the points back up from second to third. Second, third, and fourth. It shakes the points up a little bit. McGill, with that second, it helped him in the points.
Yeah, he's now third in points.
Yeah. So it shakes the whole thing up. John Glauda Jr. still trying to dig himself out of the hole for the race that he missed.
Yeah, sick like I was in Florida.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. So it was a good race. I can't wait to see the next round. Where are we going to be?
Going to John Penton in Millfield, Ohio, my hometown race. Not my favorite track in the world, but looking to defend home turf.
How far away is it?
It's like an hour for me. It's near the area.
Do you stay at the track still, or do you drive in and out?
I used to go back and forth. Now I just stay at the track.
This makes it easier.
Yeah. It's only like an hour or so, but it just makes it easier to stay. We got the whole rig now, all set up with the RV and toy hauler. So
awesome. I look forward to it, brother. I really appreciate it. As always, we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next round.
Yep.
Josh Merritt, how are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, hey, man. Thank you so much. I'm good. Thank you so much for connecting with me after my technical difficulties. We have 2 parts to the race report, one with Cody and one with you. And the reason they're not together is because I'm not very technically savvy. So anybody that wants to complain, it's my fault. I'm sorry. It's not Josh. He did his part. He was on time. I wasn't. I want to get in depth into the afternoon race. I know you were riding, so getting into some of it is going to be probably a little more difficult, but you did get to talk to some of the other pros, I'm sure. There was a get together in the first turn with Hart and somebody.
Yeah, actually, I didn't actually find out how Hunter ended up into the hay bale on the first corner. Didn't know. Normally he is getting good starts lately, so I figured he'd be up front, and then I seen him come by me probably 3/4 of the way through the first lap. He was picking his way through the the back guys, and I was like, oh, he's got some work to do if he's trying to get up front, because I knew those front guys were moving.
On the first lap, where were you?
I started like 5th, but then I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird start to the race. I was picking weird lines and actually getting past. I don't normally ever actually get past. I'm like, we'll let a faster guy go by just so I'm not feeling pressured or anything like something like that. But like just bad lines. It took me a full lap and a half to get into a good groove and figure out the track. The morning race they had like a fast line and a slow line. And if you took that slow line, it was a lot slower. And I got passed by multiple different riders. And I was just like, it was frustrating, and just kind of had to get into a groove, and finally started hitting some good lap times at the end of the race.
Well, that's good, because you ended up in 6th.
No, it says 8th, but they still haven't fixed Jared's place. Jared got 6th, I think.
Okay.
And so that pushes me to 9th place for the weekend.
Okay, so you got 9th.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you have a good race?
I took a lot of positives out of it. Like I said, it took me a lap or 2 to get into a groove, but my last lap times were in par with 6th place, maybe even 5th. So my last 2 laps were fast, and I felt good. I didn't hit anything. I mean, I've been hitting trees lately, and I'm just glad to come out of the race with no bent parts or anything like that. So body's good, bike's good, and we're putting in some work for this next one.
I asked Cody this question. I want to ask you, because there were some guys that had some issues where they hit trees and did some damage to their machines. Is it the tight technical course, or is it the speeds that you're traveling when you hit the trees at Ironman Facility?
Oh yeah, it's definitely the speeds. I'd say our average miles per hour is 5 miles per hour higher than any other track at Ironman. So if you are hitting a tree, at a pro's pace, and I'm sure it's Cody's pace in the 4x4s, you're destroying things. You're not just bending things. So if you can even finish the race, if you hit something, you're lucky. So Camp Coker, I hit a couple trees, and Mark's actually going through my quad right now from that race, and I've been a lot of stuff. He's like, I don't know how you rode this thing. And just to get out of there with a finish was lucky. So at Ironman, man, like I said, I took that first lap slow just so I knew I was going to make it through. And then after that, I started picking up the pace, feeling comfortable. And because I knew if you made one mistake on that track, you were paying a price, and it could be a DNF.
Well, there's a couple of guys that had some problems. Cole had problems because he broke a spindle, and the other gentleman bent the front end up and dropped some. He was in podium contention.
Oh yeah, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to both of them. I actually been riding with Cole. So Cole said he put a whole new front end on that quad, and it was actually he said he didn't hit anything. He said he had a bearing fail on both sides in his hubs. So I don't know how that happened. He said he put they weren't new hubs, but he put brand new bearings in the hubs. So maybe something wasn't seated correctly, or something actually failed. And man, it sucked because he's like, I made sure everything was new for the race, so nothing would happen. And his luck, something happened. And Wyatt, I asked him about it. He was actually joking around. He said he just made one mistake, and it threw him into a tree. He lost his front plastics. His whole front end was jacked up. He said he was okay. So he's not hurt, luckily. And he's going to be able to, bounce back. He knows he can do it now. So that's like half the battle. You get to that podium position. Yeah, you make a mistake, but yeah, and mentally you're like, oh, I was there. I think he had 2 laps to go, or a lap and a half. For us, man, that's a lot of motivation right there.
Oh yeah, I bet it is. So what do you think of the old man, Adam McGill, coming out on the start in second, and then staying there and actually pressuring Brycen on the first couple laps?
That's very impressive. Adam is definitely taken his skills to the next level once again, because obviously I think the pro class gets faster year in and year out, and the fact that he is adapting to these speeds from being in the class, I don't know how many years, more than I've been racing possibly, and the fact that he can do that and make a Honda finish a GNCC is insane. I'll give it to him. He's put in his work, and he's definitely making his name big. I'd say again, because he was dropping off the last couple of years, and now he's proven everybody, hey, I'm not going nowhere yet. So
I was told that I haven't spoken to Adam, so I don't know this for sure, but I was told that he has an illness, or had an illness, or maybe it's still affecting him, and he's learning how to manage it and keep his endurance and his physical fitness up with this illness, so that's
yeah,
why
he had Lyme's disease, and I don't know the total effect. I guess it's not terrible of which one he got, because I have some friends that I know that, man, they get blood transfusions, monthly, to survive, but his must not be too mild. Obviously there's some side effects because of his results from last year. I think he even missed a race due to it, maybe, if I'm thinking correctly. And like, just to, see him bounce back, and obviously he figured it out, or, yeah, I would have to say he figured it out, because the guy is rolling right now. And I seen him down in Florida when we were all down there training. I knew he was going to be fast this year. And the fact that he's still putting in the work out of us being away from Florida, it's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. And how well do you know Brycen?
I grew up with Brycen. obviously the later years, once we got into 450s, we kind of grew apart. But me and him used to be Xbox buddies. I used to go over his house in the summers and spend a couple weeks there. But yeah, I know him a little bit.
Yeah, he's a big, strong kid.
Oh, he is, and he's always been. And he definitely, man, I want to know what that makes that kid tick. Why is he putting all that work in? What made him, get to that? How did he get to that next level? All that kind of stuff. Obviously, like Walker and Brycen pushed each other through the years to get on this level that none of us can figure out. And the fact that Walker is no longer here and the guy can he put only 20 seconds on McGill this past race, but he's probably playing it pretty safe. I'm sure he can go faster because I know 2 races ago he had a 3.5 minute lead and got docked. So it's absolutely insane of the speed and the maturity and just the body physique that Brycen has. The fact that he can go 2 hours full sprint, like it's not a endurance race, it's a sprint for him. And the fact that he has really, since Walker isn't here, I can say his main competition is not in the playing field and he can still throw down those lap times is very impressive, and his bike can hold up to it. So I think he's building this year because we all know Walker's coming back. And obviously we all just saw that post that Walker made that he is no longer in a back race. Brycen's really just preparing for next year. I think he's dialing in a program where he knows it's going to be bulletproof. So when Walker comes back and Hunter's going to come out stronger, Junior's going to come out stronger, and these younger kids that possibly could make it to that next level, he's just dialing it in. I would say he's like the Eli Tomac right now, but he's just figuring out that Yamaha.
Well, hey, Brycen, if you catch this report, you need to reach out. We've been wanting to get you on the show for 2 years, and come on, man. We want to hear all these good details and find out what you're doing, and maybe give some secrets away to these other guys in the XC class. Those guys ran really strong. I don't know if you follow the XC2 class very much, but that win streak that Steve had is no more. He ended up getting second, and that had to break his heart a little bit, but also, okay, good. It's over. Now I can just focus on riding and I don't have to stress over being.
Yes. Steven's, he's a very fast kid. He's very mature. But man, he was the last one on a win streak in at least ATVs that I know of. And, the fact that he went out, he still ended up second. Brandon Owens, he should be winning rate. He should have won by now. The kid has been in the class for multiple years. It seems like bike failures always is his kryptonite. But the kid, he's beaten me before at locals. I know when he was like 15, 16 years old, he was keeping up with me. And I was like, holy smokes, who is this kid? And now he's been in Pro-Am, I think, 3 years. He should be winning races. He should be contesting Steven. And I know Steven has a very bulletproof program right now, and he's just clicking off laps. But you got a lot of competition in that class. You have Grayson Eller, you have James Glauda, you have Dylan, you have Kenny Schick. I mean, I ride with Kenny week in and week out with Cole, and Kenny can keep up with me and Cole on the practice tracks. It's just mentally when it gets to the track, I don't know what happens. But if he could get that practice Kenny at a track, I know he could be on the podium, maybe even contesting Steven and Brandon. But you see, I don't know. It's crazy to see the difference. I know it's a big jump from XC2 to XC1. And like you see that in like Ronnie Rush, even Hunter and Junior when they first came up, they They had those struggle years. They don't have that minute gap to get, overall positions. And then you slowly figure it out. So I'm thinking these guys are in their figuring it out process. And Steven, he came up one short. I don't think he's really that mad about, breaking the streak. Because like you said, the pressure's gone now. So now he can just go ride his four-wheeler, and I'm sure he's going to be clicking off wins here and there. And I hope Brandon, Kenny, Dylan, Grayson, all those guys are going to be, battling. So, maybe push them to move up one day, because you got to keep flowing through these people or they will never move up.
Right on. I totally agree with that. In the beginning of the year, it looked like nobody was going to beat Brycen.
Yeah.
And then he has an issue. Hunter gets the win. Then he has another issue, and Hunter gets his second win. I'm sure that second win stung just a bit for Brycen. The portion of the details that I got, rules are rules, and I get it. But this is, if you don't enforce the rules, then you have anarchy and problems. So I understand how painful it was for the powers that be to make that call. And I just hope Brycen understands, for the integrity of the series, they had to do it.
Yeah, I think he does understand. And I actually had a conversation with Brycen about it. And I said, hey, man, all eyes are on you. You're the champ. You can't forget that. They're looking for you to mess up or figure out how they can get that position on you. So guess what? You went 3 feet off the track. You can't do anything about it at that point. So
swallow and move on.
Exactly. And that's what I told him. We were on the phone together, and I was like, hey, and they love the drama. GNC, why wouldn't they? Just got more viewers. It got more people commenting on their posts. It's good for it. They're not going to change their decision. It's over. It's done with. So let's focus on the next race. And look at that. He gets the win. Hunter got, I think, 4th.
Yep.
And Brycen gets the points lead back. It all worked itself out. I mean,
it was
I don't think anybody's in the wrong.
It was a big point swing, because he was behind by 6 or 7, and now he's up by
6 or 7.
So I mean, it might even be more.
Yeah. And both of them, they're both doing what they got to do to possibly get a championship. No foul on Hunter, no foul on Brycen. Let's keep racing. It's all going to work itself out at the end of the year. So as long as let's just got to play by the rules. Got to play by the rules to win.
Yep. Let's just go out there and stay within the rule book and can go out and win races.
Yep.
What do you think it's going to be like at John Penton?
I've talked to Levi. He lives like 10 minutes from the track, and from what he's told me, it's going to be wet. So I heard there's storms rolling through or something like that. I'm hoping, since I've talked to him, that it's going to be changing. But John Penn's either 100 degrees or it's a mud fest. You either get one or the other. So I'm prepared for either or. I'm not going to lie. Like, from Ironman, those high speeds, like I said, it took me a lap to get comfortable with going that fast. I think the slower race possibly could help me. So I'm prepared for a mudder. If it's going to be muddy, let's throw the Mafia mitts on. Let's get the roll-offs on, and let's go a little bit slower, see how some of these guys, pan out at the end of a 2-hour mud fest. I'm
going to sit that out. Okay. You go right on ahead and have fun in the mud. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I was actually talking to Walker and Mark the other day in the shop while Mark was working on my quad, and Walker's like, Josh, you remember when we were like, it was like 8 mudders a year, and we had like a couple dry races, and I was like, kinda. He's like, yeah, dude. He said half of his championships, like the beginning half of them, were over 50% mutters. Every race was a mutter, and big handguards, possibly big tires. And nowadays it seems like we're having better conditions. I know the dirt bikes are getting screwed on Sunday because they've had 2 mutters this year already, like bad. And I think this has been the best year of cleaning quads we've had in a really long time, because I think even Ironman with some of the creek crossings took me half the time to clean my quad than a normal GNCC. And then all the southern rounds, it's like a dusting. Just kind of got the mud off the Nerf bars and lower plastics, and it was almost clean. So we've been getting really lucky. And I think Walker's right. I think we need some more mud races, kind of separate the field and see whose bikes can actually hold up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. Even though I hate the mud, I like it. Make it more competitive and figure it out. You got a great guy working on your machine and helping you, so I'm sure that you'll be able to navigate that no problem.
Yeah, Mark's got my bike dialed in. Obviously, he works on Walker Fowler's, Hunter Hart's, Johnny Gallagher. So everything's been tested, everything's been proven. I'm literally just going out on a bulletproof quad. So I think we've proved that at the beginning rounds where we had the speed and all that. I had a little back injury in a workout that kind of threw me off these last couple of races, but I'm back in the gym and working out with Levi Cohn, his program. So I'm hopefully on the upswing here.
That's awesome. That's what I want to hear, brother. So I will catch up with you again. You owe me an episode as well. Just remember that I'm going to be hounding you for that.
Yep.
Not gonna let you off the hook, but we will catch up with you. I really appreciate you stepping in and helping us out. Cody is the one that normally does it when he got sick. You just jumped right in and had no problems doing it. By the way, I forgot to ask, how did the ladies do?
Kara, my sister, she I think she bailed out with a lap to go. She has, like I said, she didn't race in like 6 or 7 years. She literally was like, hey Josh, I want to ride your quad at the first round. Rode my practice quad at the first round without practicing. I know she's been working out and she had a blast. And then Ironman, the speeds and the bumps are just so big. She's like, I think she came in with like the white flag out. She's like, I'm not having any fun anymore. I was like, all right, load it up. And so she loaded up. Macy was doing really good. She was running 3rd place in her first ever GNCC. And she's rode 2 locals before this and practiced a handful of times with me and Cole and Kenny. And she hasn't raced in 5-6 years since she's been in college. And she raced ATV motocross in the women's pro class. And she went out there in the women's class, not the pro, but the women's class. And she was running 3rd. It was 1st, 2nd, 3rd, the first 2 laps. And I was like, this is amazing. She's doing great. And you could tell with, it was a 5-lap race, but she ended up getting lapped. She ended up dropping back to, I think, 8th or 9th, but she just got tired. She was not ready for that high speed she was out there for like 2:02 or something like that, 2 hours and 2 minutes. And now she knows, and I knew that was going to happen. And I told her, I was like, you're going to get tired. It's going to happen. And it finally hit her. And she said she had a little bobble with the tree on the last lap. So she dropped a couple extra places, but she learned a lot. She knows what she has to work on. And I think she's going to come out for the John Penton. We're going to get her quad. She had just little things we need to get fixed. And if she rides and she trains like she says she's going to, and I'm training to with her, she'll be ready to go. And hopefully she can get that top 3 that she was in. I was very impressed. And I think she impressed a lot of the girls in the class. because she just come out of nowhere. I mean, it's halfway through the season and she just goes out there for her first race. So just to throw her in the deep end and see her do excel, I was very proud. And for Kara to have fun, and Macy, she said, I mean, she's still telling stories about the race. That's all what it's all about. I could care less if she got first or last, as long as she had fun and was safe. And I hope she enjoys it and she keeps doing it. And I know Kara's already planned on her next race that she wants to jump on the practice bike and just go out and do a couple laps just to get that soreness, that adrenaline on the start and all that kind of stuff. So it was a successful weekend, and I wouldn't have changed anything about it.
That's awesome to hear. That's excellent. Well, tell the ladies congratulations on, good rides and having fun, because if you're not having fun, why do it, right?
Exactly. And that's what we're here for. So
Exactly. Josh, as always, thank you, brother. I always enjoy talking with you.